Man, it is so good to be back. That's all I got to say, man. Welcome to the Homeland Daily. My name is Dane Ramoon. Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. Today is August, Today is August 25th. We don't believe in days, though. We don't believe in times. We're just here. We're happy to be here, and it's a blessing to be here. Let me introduce the rest of the hosts of the show and the panel. Let's start off, of course, with Liz Charles. She is, of course, you guys can see already, beautiful filmmaker, entrepreneur, also the developer and the owner organizer of Before We Rap show. Which is amazing. You guys need to go check that out. It is amazing, man. Liz, how you doing? Let's start off with that.
Thank you, Dane. Appreciate that. You know what? I am feeling blessed. I have decided to do a week of easy work. So instead of proactively doing a ton of work, it's a quasi vacation, essentially is what I'm calling it. So I'm not doing 12-hour days. I'm doing 6-hour days and 8-hour Davis days. My puppy Davis, he takes all my other time.
What type of vacation is it called?
It's a quasi vacation. Yeah.
I get. Hey, this is my vacation week. I guess I'm a quasi vacation too. I'm gonna take that with me. All right. This next person I'm about to introduce, part of the show panel host. He is no stranger to the Cayman Islands, conspiracy king. Give it up for singer-songwriter and producer Rico Rolando. You paused when I said that. Have you changed your mind about conspiracies now?
No. Definitely, I'm still on the conspiracy train. September is going to be a good month.
September is going to be a good one, he said. That's where the business is booming in September for conspiracy kings, right? And queens.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? Today is actually a really good day. Got a lot of stuff done for work, and got some new music coming out very, very soon. And just lots of different things that I'm excited about, for sure.
That's awesome, man. I think for a lot of us, we're still in quarantine regardless. Even though the rest of, for us, we're in this major bubble where we're almost potentially COVID free. We did have some guests that came in, two individuals that tested positive, but for the most part, we are COVID free. But we're still kind of living in that bubble, right? We don't. The rest of the world is still suffering indeed. As we can see, we turn on the news every single day. We see that the numbers climbing, and some countries are getting out of control and don't know what to do at this point. But I just want to thank our government for what they've done so far. And for me today, I just got reminded about something shifting away from COVID-19, that we should never stop the fight, which we've been talking about for a long time, guys, which is the whole fight, the fight on Black. I'm just going to say the way it is. African-American men and women. I'm just going to be very serious. The reason I said that because I decided that today was a vacation day for me, and I watched a show that was based off of ICE, like the ICE documentary. You guys know what ICE is in the United States, right? Mm-hmm. So enforcement, customs and enforcement, whatever it's called, immigration, enforcement and customs. Sorry, I messed that up. But anyway, it doesn't matter. There was a statement by a white trainer that was made in a documentary, which I'm kind of, it's weird. I don't know why anybody hasn't picked up on that yet. The guy actually said he was doing a course with the police officers, and they were about to, in the course, they were not going to shoot a white woman that picked up a gun, right? She picked up the gun. They were doing a scenario. What if the wife of a husband picks up a gun? What do? The officers waited a little bit until she actually pointed the gun at them. And this is a white woman, right? Not to really sound like I'm racist or anything. I'm just pointing out the scenario. But what the white instructor stated after, he was like, hey, what if that was a 350-pound Shaq lookalike? Would you not have shot him? And all the officers said, yes, absolutely. But my thing is, why did they have to mention Shaq? Why did they have to mention a black man? Why are they only saying that we should only be afraid when you see a black man? Like, dang, if I was in the United States of America today and I was running to protect my kids in the car, would I be shot in the back 7 times? No point intended for what just recently took place, I think 3 days ago. Would that be me just because I'm concerned with my kids because they came out the car and then I'm saying, hey, I don't want my kids to get shot, so I'm gonna get shot for them. Because that's what it is. If a black man is running away now, that's something that you still should be afraid of. You could be shot potentially in your back as a black man today. And a black woman. I mean, it's not be gender specific about this. Black
Much
women,
appreciated.
yeah, like you guys are. Everybody
Really goes underreported, but it's fine. Or under,
Hey,
we don't get the same kind of outrage. I mean, Breonna Taylor's
no,
people are still free. So, just going to mention that really quickly.
very true though. I mean, this is a topic we've always been talking about, but the reason I brought it up again was because if we're going to push the culture forward, we can't leave that crucial part of the culture out, because that's a very important part of the culture right now. And, like as my kids asked me when I had to turn on CNN again and watch this all over again, by the way, guys, will this ever change? Will it ever change? And I said, listen, man, I don't know. I don't have the magical answer for that. The only thing I can tell you is that it definitely won't change if we don't make a change about it. Like, it has to start with us. It has to start with us. That means like little conversations like this has to happen. Tough conversations. This is the first time I'm gonna put this out there on a platform, because I was afraid to do it at first, but I'm gonna state it. I want this change so bad that I have to step away from even a circumstance that I was in, and that's church. I had to step away from church, not because I hated the people of my church or didn't agree with them and didn't like them because there was more white people there. It was because we just didn't want to be educated on what's going on. We didn't want to step away from our traditional way of doing things and say, hey, there's some people in here we need to educate. We need to talk about this. We need to change the culture. We need to shift the culture. And Jesus said we need to help the suppressed. So if the suppressed is being hurt right now, why are we not helping them? If one of my kids, and I promise I'll end here, guys, if one of my kids is not doing good, but the rest of my kids are extremely doing well, I'm still going to be hurting for that one child that's not doing good. And what we have,
it's the lost sheep metaphor.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what God meant when he said he left the 99 for the one. So Black people are suppressed right now. Black people are hurting right now. So as a child of God, I'm going to leave the 99 for the one, because the one is suffering right now. I know there's other issues out there, but this needs my attention right now. So I don't know. This is kind of like a weird way to start off the Homeland Daily, but I think it's a necessary way. Don't be about the culture. Stop doing this. Stop saying it only becomes popular if I get my cell phone out and I film it, and then I get my views and I get my likes. And then, by the way, when it goes dead in 3 months, we're going to stop talking about it. Doesn't make any sense. Are you going to be the person that just stays there and say, oh, that looks painful, and just walk away? Or are you going to be the person that stays with George, that stays with Javon Martin, that stays with Breonna Taylor, and say, hey, I'm not going to leave your area until we fix this. We have to fix this.
I do want to clarify something that you are speaking specifically. I think it has to be noted that the things you're saying are great and wonderful, but the people who need to hear that are the people who aren't affected by it. Because for people like me, who are, here, who are of color, and other Black men, at the end of the day, there's a story every day.
Yeah.
And whether or not we choose to yell and scream about it or not, it exists.
Yeah.
I think my music just started playing. Sorry, guys.
No,
But the point is that, so I always encourage Black people to do whatever they need to do for their own self-care and their own mental health, because it takes a toll on you. It's re-traumatizing when people forward the George Floyd video over and over. It's re-traumatizing when you see the Ahmaud Arbery video over and over again. And so I'm very pro, do whatever you need to do for your mental health. If that means sometimes turning off your social media altogether, so that you get a break and your mind gets a break and your spirit gets a break. Like, this is why I don't watch certain movies. Like, I still haven't seen 12 Years a Slave. Okay, don't judge me. Okay, cinephiles, don't judge me. Okay, I was not interested in seeing, I just don't want to see that. Like, I went to watch Harriet. I don't know if you guys saw Harriet. But it was directed by Casey Levins, one of my professors. Anyway, she's one of the few Black female filmmakers in Hollywood, but she made a conscious choice that she wasn't going to show scenes of slaves being beaten, and and it was like, why do we need to do that? That's slave porn. Like, why we always got to see that? That's re-traumatizing. We can learn about our history without seeing that, Anyway, that's it.
Yeah.
And we brought this up for a good reason, because there's a lot of people here on the Homeland Daily, we call it. If you're a part of our show, you're part of the Homeland Daily, that don't believe that racism exists here. So the reason we brought that up was because, man, we can bring it up in 10 different ways, probably even 100 different ways. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump into Entertainment Report, and we're going to come back with a topic. Hopefully our guest will be joining us very soon. I know we had a difficult time reaching him today, but he's very much still booked for the show. And you guys know I'm talking about Dr. Roy Bodden. We're excited to have him part of the show. So if you guys see me skip away for a minute, that's because I am trying to get Dr. Roy on the phone. So if you know him, tell him that he's supposed to be on the show tonight. I know how it is when people don't have their calendar on their phones, man. So I get it. Let's start off with the Entertainment Report. Our good brother Rico is going to be blessing us with that.
It's now time for your Entertainment Report.
So amazing that this is my life.
Exclusively on the Homeland Daily.
All right, guys. So for Entertainment Report today, thank you guys so much for joining the Homeland Daily. We have a bunch of different news. First thing first, let's kick it off with Miss Juliana O'Connor Connolly. Now, earlier today, earlier this week, she actually informed us that minimum wage for all teachers in the public sector will be $5,000 per month. So that announcement was made last week, and I'm sure all of the teachers now are very, very excited about what's to come. But what do you guys think about it? It's going to be definitely different for obviously private school teachers, but now public school teachers are actually at the benefit with making a minimum of $5,000 per month. So what do you guys think about that?
I didn't understand what my teacher was saying back in school when they was like, we don't get paid enough to do this. Like, you know, teachers used to always say that. Now I get it. Now I understand, man. I am so over the moon about this. Like, I think teachers are unsung heroes. They deserve this. I found it out firsthand because I had to be a teacher during COVID for my kids. I just want to say to all the teachers, God bless you. It should be $10,000. You should be paid with doctors and accountants and even partners. I'll go that far. You guys, you put up with a lot. And I only had two. Because I say one because one I had to really focus on. My other one was like, get it done or F. You know? So I don't know. I'm grateful for it. I'm happy for the teachers.
Yep, definitely.
I think we have to think about what the cost of living is in Cayman, and it's very high. And so you need to pay people reasonably in order to be able to live so that they can do their jobs properly in Cayman. So I think, you know, if we do get Dr. Roy Bodden on the call, we'll talk about the difference between underemployment and unemployment and what that means in terms of pay equity. But definitely teachers deserve a living wage for Cayman.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think I'm just super excited for the teachers. I think they definitely deserve it, especially during COVID. Switching over to online for everything, I'm pretty sure they're exhausted by now. So they definitely deserve the $5,000 per month for sure.
Yeah, I hope the teachers' assistants get a little bump too.
Yes, I agree. I agree on that one. Shout out teacher assistants on that. But you know, we're gonna switch things up a little bit, and we're gonna take it all the way back to Usain Bolt. So earlier last week, he was one of the very few that attended his exclusive party. Obviously, he was there; it was his party, but it was very exclusive. There was at one point they told them no phones, that should be out, and one particular artist decided that he was going to be filming the whole thing. And that's when you got to see Usain Bolt with a bunch of his friends getting super, super lit. And then all of a sudden, about 5 days later, he then announces via Twitter that he has contracted COVID-19. So it's definitely a big deal, especially for the runner. Dane, I'm gonna start with you. What do you think about this? He planned this super huge party and now he has COVID. What's going on, Usain? It's crazy.
Oh man, see Liz, like her look is so like you can read her face. Like I don't think I have to say anything after Liz face. Like I don't get it, man. Like this was, I don't know what to say, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. that made sense, Liz. That was the right anthem, I think.
Why? Like why? You know why, y'all?
we just finished uplifting black people. We literally just
There he goes.
we were trying to uplift. Okay, listen. First of all, there should have been some protocols put in place for this party, regardless.
There
of how
aren't
much.
even masks in those photos. You see that?
Zero.
Yo, but Jamaica. Listen, on a positive side, we kind of gave the negative side, but on a positive side, Jamaica is just all about love. So you can't.
Yeah, but Jamaica has a COVID spike right now. What are you doing?
They do, but they think they can fight COVID with love. They don't need a mask. Like, if I hug you harder, scientifically, it's proven that you won't get this. And I hope that it took Usain Bolt to realize, you're pretty much your national flag to make you realize that hey, you got to take this serious. This ain't a joke.
Well, I mean, he did say it was the best birthday ever, but hopefully,
yes,
actually kind of switch things up and realize that this was not the best birthday ever, and you should be following the protocols of your country. So
we pray for Usain.
Yeah,
what defines it is not the best birthday ever, though?
What defines
it? If you look at it,
people are dying from COVID-19.
I get it, but this will be one that he will never forget.
Yeah, but you know what? He has this baby this year. He's, retired now. All he can do is relax. So he went and had a big, he enjoyed himself. So
he's an ambassador for his country, though, and explaining that your country is now under COVID in probably one of the worst Caribbean countries right now. Why would you have a party, not have the 6 feet rule, not have any masks, and decide that one particular artist decided to start videoing, and that's when everyone was basically caught. So
I pray for Usain.
Yes. Shout out to Beverly. She says it's a great lesson for sure. It definitely is. Well, speaking of mask off, our guy Future always has the song Mask Off. But we're not going to be talking about Future. We're going to be talking about the celebration of Cayman Islands. You're not going to have to wear your mask every single time that you're in other public areas. So it says you can continue to safe distance from others in public. Consider wearing a mask around the elderly and vulnerable, and continue frequent hand washing, along with staying healthy, of course. But I mean, the laws have now changed that you don't need a mask. It's not required to have that everywhere. So what do you guys think? Obviously, Cayman numbers are not compared to somewhere like Jamaica, whose numbers are spiking every day. What do you guys think about it? Liz, I'm going to start off with you. You are in New York City. Unfortunately, it's not going so good over there, but tell us what you think about Cayman.
First of all, okay, I appreciate the way you said that, because New York is doing a lot better than the rest of the U.S.
Okay, Florida.
We do not lump us in the same category with Florida. Okay, listen, I'm jealous. Okay, but you guys don't even understand how many times a day, like me and my friends, like they issued this today. My friend texted me immediately, like, so I could go read the report. Like, I'm checking every single day to figure out what's going on with the border reopening. Cayman has no COVID in it. What's going on with the quarantine rules? I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get home. Send me a boat. Send me something. Okay. I already signed up on travel time. I'm just waiting.
Hi, Dane, what do you think? Dane, you are on mute, Magoot. I can't hear a thing you're saying.
Yo, I'm upset. I'm upset because I just bought a bunch of masks, man. So I'm like,
keep them. Remember, I had a bunch of masks right before COVID happened, and I wasn't even expecting COVID. I was just like, I'm a germaphobe. Let me get some masks for travel. Keep them.
Yeah, that does look like Liz. Liz looked like one of those on the airplane.
Don't judge me.
Just puts on the mask for no reason.
I mean, clearly it was for a reason, because who knew that COVID was going to come around?
It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. Remember, I told you months before that this whole thing was gonna happen. Make sure you grab your mask. Yada yada.
Rico, don't put me into that. Don't put me.
Not like that, man.
All right, guys. Well, you know what? That has been the entertainment report. I'm gonna switch it all the way back up to Dane. Dane, what else do we have in store?
Man, we were supposed to have Dr. Roy BODDEN join us on the show, but unfortunately, I'm not even seeing him in the green room as of yet. So, Rico, what is going on in your room, bro?
I apparently have a bunch of mosquitoes in my room.
Oh, speaking of mosquitoes, did you guys hear about what they're trying in Florida?
Yes.
The genetically modified mosquitoes that are supposed. Okay, so they're making these genetically modified mosquitoes that are supposed to go out and eat all the other mosquitoes and kill them, right? And then they die much faster than regular mosquitoes. They're making super mosquitoes.
The world needs to stop playing God, because what's going to end up happening is that a bunch of monkeys going to be running down Lincoln Drive chasing us at spring break whenever we decide to go to Miami, and we need to stop. Like, seriously, like, can you imagine that? We have to stay inside and lock the doors. Don't go outside. The mosquito, one bite kills you right away.
I swear I had this nightmare before. I really do.
Need to stop. But anyway, Dr. Roy, if you are hearing this, or anybody that knows Dr. Roy BODDEN, he perhaps forgot that he was supposed to be on an interview tonight, but it's all good. We are always prepared here at the Homeland Daily. We do want to still honor him and talk about partly one of his stories that he had on the Cayman Compass, I think 2 days ago, which was, guys, I don't know if you remember seeing that article, or Rico, you've seen it, but for whom are we developing for? It was a very strong article. And the reason I say strong was because this is something that's been in my mind recently. And with election coming up, this is our, I hate to say this and sound like I know more or I'm being dramatic, but I feel like this is our last chance to get it right. Yep. As Caymanians, when it comes to voting, this is our last chance. Literally, you need to take this serious. You need to vote. You need to know who you're voting for. You need to not be concerned if the person is giving you a fridge, the person is giving you soil for your land, or paying for light bill. No, boo-boo, they need to come with something better. They need to show up with the facts on what's going to help you move forward as a Caymanian. But forget you, your kids. Will your kids have opportunities here on this island? Will they have land? Will they be able to survive? Will they be able to get the jobs that are necessary to keep them moving forward here in the Cayman Islands? And that is a huge concern. And I don't think we're taking that serious. I really don't think we're taking it serious. And the reason that this has to be brought up through an article of development in the Cayman Islands is because as a Caymanian myself that's saying, hey, I'm at the age right now, my kids don't have land. I am literally going around looking for land right now, even if it's one, and saying, hey, I'm going to take this for my kids. I want to develop something on this for my kids. Guys, it has been the most difficult process of my life. Yeah. Like I have never gone through anything like that. And I'm really just trying to do this for my kids. And you need to see the land that's for sale here, the cost of what you're getting, of what you're paying for. Yeah. It is ridiculous. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, or if there's anybody else that's been through this type of situation or facing like first-time buyers. Like Rico, are you about to perhaps be a first-time buyer very soon? Yeah. Are you looking? Do you even feel like you should be looking? Do you feel like you can afford it? Like, talk to me, man.
I mean, for me personally, I feel like the only land left is in Little Cayman at this point. And
I'll buy it.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Little Cayman. I think they have the best prices right now. But as a young Caymanian searching for a home, a single family home, I think it's hard as hell. It's hard as hell knowing that you're gonna spend at least $150 on land alone, not including a house. Then it's probably just for a 2-bedroom is the minimum $350,000, $400,000 CI dollars. Like that is boatloads of money in the US and in the UK compared to what you're getting here in Cayman. So I mean, all we can really do is be thankful for what we have, which is paradise. But at the same time, too, we're not living paradise if we're constantly, left at the bottom of the barrel, people, and not.
We shouldn't be thankful. We shouldn't be thankful for what we have. Like we should be fighting for more. I'm sorry, I'm going to for this because
I agree.
Okay, so I understand, recognizing what we do have access to and what we don't have access to, right? And I think there were multiple points in the article that we kind of have to break down, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, the thesis of it was why are we saying that the growth of expatriates on the island is a good thing? By what metric does that mean success, right? However, he's referencing another article which gave the numbers for the number of expats that have come in, but also gave the number for unemployment in Cayman and said that it's at the lowest it's been. So if we're at the highest number for expats and the lowest number for unemployment, what he's kind of suggesting is that the two might be related. There may be some correlation that as more expats come, there are more jobs provided for Caymanians. And the majority of the jobs going to expats are largely anecdotally, he says, in construction. This is the CML recruitment director, in construction and in hospitality. Now, here's the thing. This is a nuanced argument, right? Because one, just because Cayman is at its lowest number for unemployment, that doesn't mean that people aren't underemployed, right? So that means that somebody who has skills for a higher paid position, that position may be going to an expat who can then afford property that a Caymanian could then not afford. So then we have to break it down to what is, unemployment versus underemployment. And then we have to look at the way that inflation is working with the influx of people. So you get a greater demand of people, there's scarcity in property. It's the same thing with New York. It's a small place, but there's high demand for people to be here. And as a result, you just don't have enough space. Now, I remember... was it Makiva who was it last year or the year before? Was it Makiva or was it Alvin? One of the two of them. Their aim was to increase expats by 100,000 or something like. Do you guys remember this? It was about a year ago, right? Okay, cool. And I think it was Makiva, yeah. So anyway, I was thinking to myself, and I think the comparison he used was Dubai, and I was like, I don't know if I want to use that as a comparison. But then I was thinking about other places like Singapore, where maybe it might work a little bit differently. But the issue with that is that you don't want to become a Dubai or a Singapore because you want to be a Cayman. You see what I'm saying? So what's the point of becoming, one of these other places when that takes away your ability to differentiate yourself? You know what I'm saying? So, and if it doesn't work for the local economy, then, it's a nuanced thing whether or not it does or doesn't work for the local economy. But you have to think about the net effect of it between unemployment rates, underemployment rates. Are people being paid too little? Teachers just got a lift, thank God. But what about everyone else?
Yeah, I mean, Rico, you can comment a little bit more on this. I want you to come in because you're a young. You're a young individual here on this island. Your vote is going to be crucial next year.
I also would like to say, Dane, I am also young, just so you know.
I'm sorry.
You don't know my age.
You're still 21, right? Sorry, Liz.
I mean, for me, it's like the ultra rich doesn't come here for big towers and loads of people. The ultra rich comes here for a specific reason, which is to be away from everyone else, which is to have that comfort and also to make sure that they're able to walk the beach and no one notices them in that type of locality.
Exactly.
So for me, it's just our aim is not to be someone else. I think again we are ready to differentiate ourselves by being the Cayman Islands in our own right. I think it's just now left up to us, exactly like what you said. Our vote is very crucial this year. It all depends. Do we want to see the same 4 years that we saw last time, or do we want to see something different? I would love to see some young, fresh Caymanian faces in there. Someone that's going to be able to really break that mold of, we're stuck in this type of thing where it's like, oh, we have to be Cayman kind and we have to make sure that we're helping everyone else and our character, blah, 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 blah. It's time for us to dig in our pockets and hold on to everything that we got, because enough is enough for me. personally, we've had enough giving, and I get it. We need to be giving some, but again, our Mankind mentality has gotten us this far, and we need to look around and say where the Caymanian compared to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, you know what really hurt me when I was driving around looking for property. I decided to like, I, I wasn't feeling myself by the way, guys. I just decided to drive around in certain areas just to look at landscaping because landscape. Look at this guy.
Hi guys, sorry guys.
Landscape is huge for me, and I love looking at it. But as I was driving around the neighborhoods like Canal Point and a few other places, I realized that these areas are mostly flooded with expats.
Yep.
Flooded. And that equals exactly back to what Liz said. They're being paid to afford these places. I know a lot of expats that have came here and literally have worked in account firms and or lawyers or different fields, and they've actually owned 4 or 5, 6 different properties here on this island.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like they've found a way to make this investments for them. Like they turn it into Airbnbs, to rentals. They've found a way to make it work. And you know what? Props on them. Props on them. Like, yo, you're not the problem. We're not coming on this platform and saying we are anti-expats. We're not saying that. I don't want anybody to get that. But at what point will the government start to look into things like this and realize, okay, man, we need to give Caymanians the fair opportunity, a fair chance to do things like this? Because at the end of the day, it's us that's going to be taking better care of this at the end. Like anybody else would rush and leave this and give it to anybody else. We understand that it's a privilege to be Caymanian, so we're going to treat it completely different. Guys, we have nowhere else to go. This is our country. This is where we belong. And I find it very confusing. I think I'm going to be listening more than I've ever done. I'm going to set to more meetings. I'm going to have more conversations with our MLAs because I want to know, what are you guys doing? Because I'm really concerned about my kids here.
I want to talk to all of them on the show.
I agree.
You know who I'm looking for? I'm looking for the Caymanian AOC. I'm like, who is that person?
Yeah.
Who is going to be the young voice who is not afraid to speak up on the issues, who's not, in anybody's pocket, that kind of thing. I'm looking for that person.
Yep.
But then have some cojones when you say something. Like when you say something, it means something. Like don't say, oh, this is creating a lot of drama here. Like I better back off of this. Hey, that's when you know it's working. I call it like a dream validation. If people are talking sadness about it and people don't want you to do it, that's a dream validation. So you need to actually make that happen. And I'm tired of people backing off because, for instance, you remember when we were going to put taxes in, not saying that we should do this, but we're going to put taxes in for expats. And all of a sudden, expats started to go out there and they were like protesting and going off. And then, of course, they backed off. Like our government was like, nah, okay, we see what's happening here. We're not, listen. Like, guys, two parties need to learn something from each other. First of all, government, you need to have more kahunas. Whoever that was that pulled back from that, and I know who it is, I'm just not gonna say any names, but you need to have more kahunas. And secondly, Caymanians, take example. Look what had to happen for change to manifest. People had to go out there and protest, speak up, and not just one day. They showed up in numbers and they continue to do it. So what are you going to be doing about things? You can't just sit behind your computers anymore and just triggering your fingers to say, hey, let me talk about it on social media, but not go out there and talk to my MLAs. And it was Jevy. I hope he's listening right now. It was Jevy that told me recently that Caymanians have this tendency to only be vocal behind a computer.
That's not Caymanians. That's the vast majority. That's everyone. That's why what do they call them?
Twitter fingers.
Yeah, precisely. So that's everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that statement, but I think we definitely have a major problem with it even more.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, you guys. I would love to continue this conversation, but
he wants to be a part of the show too.
We have a guest. It's not Dr. Roy, but it is Davis Langston. So
he's getting big too, man. Listen, we want you to be a part of the conversation. Go ahead and message us. This show will always be recapped always be played over on YouTube and, of course, Spotify and Logic TV. So you guys can go ahead and recap the show. Leave your comments. We would love to see it. That way we can know, hey, who do you want us to invite on the show to speak politics? Who do you want us to hold accountable? Who do you want us to see what their agendas and plans are moving forward? Because there are people that are putting the caps in the race right now, and we want you to be involved. I guess your dog has something to say. So, guys, without putting too much on Liz, that's the end of the show. That's episode 65. We will see you again, of course, next week, Tuesday. Make sure to listen to our recap show. You guys have a good day, all right? All right.
Night, guys.
We're done, all right?
Trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, for the